I think this car's making me blush. It is awesome.
Hi guys, Scott here from Outlaw Garage. Today we are visiting a Porsche 911 1974 with a 2.7 RS motor.
I'm Marcus, this is my 74 Carrera. I've had this car for about 10 years now, maybe a little bit longer. It's been a fun journey. I've thoroughly enjoyed owning this car, and it has a lot to offer.
Today we're going to go for a spin in this because this is a 2.7 RS engine.
That is correct, Scott, and I'm very excited as a turbo driver, I'm very excited for you to have a go of this and feel the seamless torque that you get from a 2.7 RS, especially when it comes on cam. And I was really lucky with this engine, so I was interested in rebuilding the engine that I had in the car, and a friend of mine had bought this engine for a project he was doing, and it's a 2.7 RS 210 horsepower specification engine, but my friend didn't continue with the project, so he called me up and he said, "Oh, there's another car I want to buy, would you be interested in buying my engine?" And it was at my son's soccer game, and he kind of needed an answer right there and then, so I bought a very expensive engine without checking with my partner, and thankfully she was quite forgiving and understood that it was important to me.
I know I am looking forward to this day because the sound of the 2.7, beautiful at the best of times. That rev and the pitch and the high tone that it gets, I'm genuinely really looking forward to this.
That's good.
We will start on the outside.
Sure.
Because this has had a bit of a refresh over a period of time.
When I bought the car, it had been restored, and they'd done a nice job, and I was very, very comfortable with it. But I decided recently, or about 12 months ago, I decided to have the car repainted and to give it a freshen up.
Yep.
So parts of it have come back to bare metal, but it is just a nicely done repaint. It was done by Checkered Flag Restorations, who are a Porsche specialist, and they did a really lovely job, I think. At the same time, I had the wheels done, so they really pop, and new rubbers and things in the car as well, just to finish off just make it right, you know?
Yeah, because we'd looked at the paint, and I think it's easier to see on the bonnet, and it's nice to see the reflection of the lovely posters on the bonnet.
A bit of garage, bit of stuff in the garage is always good.
But it's the black is perfect, and black is obviously a horrendous colour to paint.
Yes.
But it's beautifully done.
Thank you. I'm very happy with it, and I think originally it was only supposed to have the car for a couple of months, and when I picked it up, I thought, it's been about 6 months, and I checked the logbook and it had been 12. So I know
easily happens on a restoration.
I know he spent a lot of time on it.
Time just slips away, doesn't it?
That's it. He spent a lot of time on it getting it right, and you're right. With a black car, there are a couple of. It's always challenging. I gave it a coat of wax the other day, and it's interesting that you stand back from it and go, "Oh, there's a bit I missed." And on other cars, it doesn't.
And I was just looking at the car now, and I can see my reflection in it there, which doesn't. Well, it never happens with any of my cars, really.
Well,
but
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That is, and the wheels and the black and the gold, those Fuchs are done.
Oh, it's nice.
Beautiful.
And it's on 7s and 8s. So there's 7-inch Fuchs at the front and the 8s at the rear, which is a really good specification. The other thing about this car, when I got it, it had already been done to this sort of 74 Carrera specification. So someone's put someone had welded on the correct steel guards for the car.
Yep.
And you'll notice that the bottom of them is slightly squared off, which is correct for an early 74 Carrera. The later ones are the SC guards, which are more rounded.
Yes.
So it's nice, and the ducktail is fiberglass. So the car had been sort of done had been built to an RS specification, but the only thing missing was the engine, which is why getting that engine was such a coup. Should we pop the hood and have a look?
I was gonna save that, but I think that's where the excitement is.
It is indeed.
They're just a beautiful engine.
It is, and it's lovely to do. I'm very excited for you to have a drive of this and see what you think. It's a really, really good thing. And it's got the MFI, which is the important part of this engine.
Yeah.
And of course the big throttle bodies and things. So it goes very, very well. And the other thing about this car is it's an original black car, which is pretty rare. So in 1974, people weren't really ordering black cars. They weren't a popular colour as they are now. But this is an original black on black car.
I just love the gold as well that goes with it and the RS up there.
Yeah, it really pops, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
As in all things in life, gold is better.
So true.
It came with the original CDI box, but I found with my other 2.7 RS as well that they respond really well to having an MSD popped in. So I did the new leads, the MSD, and it just gives it a better spark. It burns a bit cleaner and it definitely goes better.
Okay. And does that give you like a dual spark on there?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's I think it's a bigger, it's more spark and a bigger spark, I think, is its claim to fame. So it starts easier, runs better, and runs cleaner as well. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who's got an F100, and he finds that just moving it around and not taking it for a drive, it sort of get fouled up.
Yep.
And this is where MSD is a good thing. So
yeah, that's a really good point about fouling up.
This car has a 964 brake conversion, and it's one of the things that I've had a couple of early 911s, and the brakes really do date them. Whereas with a 964 brake conversion, this car really stops very well. And the other thing it's got Coney adjustable shock absorbers, and the whole suspension has been gone through by Phil Hearn when he was at Auto Coupe and upgraded. So it's a really nice, the sway bars, torsion bars, it handles really well. So one of the things that I like about this car is it's got the original blue-black door trims, which are unobtainium. You cannot get that vinyl anymore. And I don't know if you can pick it up in this light, Scott, but there's
definitely a blue hue.
Yep, there is. And then the other thing is the carpets also have the blue-black tinge. So
do they?
Yeah. So while the floor mats I think have been replaced at some point, all the other carpet around the edges in the back seat is the original blue-black carpet, which is also unobtainium.
Wow.
The dials have been refreshed, which is nice, and
the glass is very clear.
it's good, and they're nice and white rather than yellow. And then the other thing that's notable is the $4,000 original Porsche windscreen, which we needed because the tint and the glass tint, which again you may not pick it up, but it's a very, very subtle green. And
I can just pick it up. It's very easy, and we might have to zoom in a little bit, but it's just easy to pick up between the sun visors and the glass.
Oh, you can see the graduation.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's funny because when you look at the aftermarket one, which is $180, is clear. So
that's
it just
phenomenal
it wasn't
difference
going to match.
For a bit of tint.
The genuine Porsche one, I forget exactly how much. Maybe I'm exaggerating at 4, but it felt like that, and I'm sure it was multiple thousands. But well worth having. I think just to make it respects the car, or respectful to the car. It's funny, the passenger seat is a lot tighter than the driver's seat.
My legs are by far shorter than yours.
I'm mainly legs.
I was like, felt like I was in the back seat.
It's funny.
So, pretty much like a collection of people that watch this video. This is my first time driving a 2.7 RS motored 911.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, this is, and if anybody's watched some of the videos before where I've been driving other people's cars, I'm hoping I won't stall because I'm particularly cautious before we get out and get on the road. And there's potential for me to stall, but let's see how we go. That shifter's nice.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the Porsche short shifter is good. The only thing you got to watch out for is coming back through the gears. You don't wrong slot, but
yeah, okay. Good. I felt the brakes as well when we came out the driveway.
Yep.
They're heavy and firm, aren't they?
How good's the pedal? It's the nicest pedal. It's really good. And boy, do they stop. So
that is a nice shift.
Yeah, I've done all the shift linkage bushings.
Yeah.
Which makes a big difference.
That's a beautiful sound.
Isn't it good?
And it is a wet day today, so we might be. That pedal is hard, isn't it?
It's good. Yeah. The brakes inspire a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I've got on my 70 911. I've got the S calipers, so they're the alloy calipers, and they don't inspire as much confidence as these 964 brakes. They're really
so
good.
tight.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty, for a 50-year-old car, I mean, it's as old as me, but 50 years, it doesn't have a lot of rattles or shakes. It's pretty tight, I reckon.
It's got pull straight away, hasn't it? Because we slowed down a little bit there.
Speed hump.
Oh, hey!
That's right. Big brakes.
There we go, big brakes. I might slot down to second there.
Speed hump, and the angry neighbour is just up here that always comes out and shakes a fist at you if you go too fast. When you go to the RS and you've got a little bit more tyre, a little bit more, the car feels a bit more planted, and then you get to the turbo and it's even more planted again. It's quite, You sort of, it's nice to follow that factory sort of development curve when you think, okay, well, the original cars were really under-tired, then they fixed that, and then they fixed it some more, and then they just kept fixing it,
Yeah, I think probably the difference between something like this and the 930 is that the 930 can be a bit boaty.
Ah, yep.
It can.
Yep.
And I think that's probably because the original suspension, it is European height, not US height.
Yep.
So it seems to sit okay, but it has that bit of a float. There's too much body sway in it, where I appreciate we haven't gone too far yet, but this is
tight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really well. Phil did a fantastic job setting up the suspension in this car. It's really, really good. And then you couple that handling with this engine, which is also responsive. And it doesn't make 210 horsepower, but the car only weighs 1,000 kilos. So, there's not a lot. The power to weight's really good.
This is a true cold drive. We've not started it up, had a little bit of a spin.
No.
This is a straight out the garage.
On a cold day.
Cold. It is a cold day.
If you go straight through here. It's a cold, wet Melbourne day, and that's right.
And the gearbox is moving very smoothly.
Yeah, that's good.
I've always wondered as well, like the 930 and the turbo is lovely, but I've always wondered if a 2.7 is more my kind of style.
Oh, yeah, okay, a bit more frantic.
Yeah. Or just the pitch, the sound.
It's a pretty special engine.
Yeah.
And that being the MFI engine, it just is. It's completely different to any of the other engines. It is just dumping petrol into those cylinders and getting it burnt and making horsepower. It's really, really good.
It's as basic as you're going to get, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So it is the device for burning as much petrol as possible. Good?
Yeah.
And it just keeps pulling.
Lovely driving position. These seats are fantastic.
Oh, the Recaros are awesome, aren't they? And they're sort of period correct, which I like as well. So they're a good thing. And the mesh headrests are nice. They make the car feel nice and airy.
And I see what you mean. When you said you drive along with it with these sun visors down, I was like, oh, why do you do that? But I can genuinely feel that
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and they fit like the 944 ones, weren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They fit in really well.
Yeah, I just like them because they gave me a bit more coverage than the 911 ones. They actually go properly to the edges and they tuck in so they don't flop around, which is good.
Yeah, I did feel that as I did that. That's a nice touch.
And because you sit in these Recaros, you sit lower than in the standard seat.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the little bit of. You get that little bit of glare, so it's nice to have the sun visor.
It's got some poke in second and third gear.
Yeah, it's good.
But in fourth gear, you can sit and.
Yeah, we're having a conversation, we're filming. I mean, you can. It's quite for the performance that this car gives, and for a classic car, it's actually very usable. And I've always liked that about 911s. That you think in 1974, what this car must have been an absolute revelation.
Yeah, because absolutely, can you take this out for cars and coffee and have a great time just pootling around on a weekend?
Yep.
But if you actually want to go on long drives or join, Luftwasser crew where they go out on 4-day drives and things.
Yep.
It's
doable. Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
Yep. Yeah, and also your wife or girlfriend will come in this car quite happily, or my girlfriend comes in this car very happily, and that's fine, And it feels for a 50-year-old car, it does feel quite modern still. And I think that's part of the 911 appeal. It certainly keeps up with traffic.
Yeah, and definitely with that, the suspension, how the brakes feel and how the steering feels, it just gives you all that confidence.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's true. All that it's active safety, isn't it, rather than passive safety?
Yeah. What people don't realise when they hop into a 911 is that you can get very used to an old classic car, how that feels, how that drives, and the experience of it. The suspension isn't very good. Electrics might be a little bit dodgy. The brakes feel awful. When you move the steering wheel moves and the wheels don't move.
Yeah, correct.
Where getting into a 911, which is set, is a different ball game altogether.
It is. Oh, it is indeed.
And I think it's worth talking about left-hand drive cars.
Oh, yeah, very much so. So you've got a left-hand drive car?
I've got a left-hand drive, and we talked earlier. Yep. The only two problems I have is drive-through.
Yes. Yep.
But it doesn't matter because I haven't got any cup holders anyway.
This definitely doesn't have cup holders.
That is not a problem. And the only other thing is if I'm going to a car park where I've got to go out and get a ticket,
yes,
then I have to run round and go get it.
Yeah,
that is the only problem I have with a left-hand drive in a right-hand drive country.
I agree. I've been stuck with the parking garage thing a couple of times and had to get out or lean across, and it's a bit awkward, especially when you've got wind-up windows and you're reaching across to wind down the window and then try and get the ticket.
I forgot. This is got wind-ups.
Down, yeah. But what's this terrible thing that I have to do to move my arm around? But I agree with you. One of the things I really love about owning a left-hand drive car is it's a real sense of occasion when you get in it. It feels different, it feels special, and for a Porsche, it's how they were designed. They were designed to be a left-hand drive car. The oil tank is on the right-hand side in the rear, so it offsets the weight of the driver in the left-hand side in the front.
Yes.
There you go, that lovely... How good does it sound? And it comes on cam as well. Like it's sort of you've got this power, and you think, oh, that's seamless and good, and then there's more. It's like, wow, it's really, really great. But yeah, I agree with you. I actually love having a left-hand drive car. I think it's really, it's different. And as I said, sense of occasion is the thing for me. I get in this car, it's different to my daily driver. It feels exciting, and on the road, you've got plenty of visibility. There's plenty of glass area in this car, so there's the pillars are all thin, you need to be a little bit careful when you overtake, but you should be careful overtaking anyway.
Yeah, I just find that I genuinely just sit back a little bit more, so I can have a look, and I've never really had an issue.
Yeah, true. Same. Yeah, it's always felt natural and fine to me.
Yeah, you just drive it slightly differently when you're on a road, kind of wanting to go past somebody.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and the market's really changed on left-hand drives as well, because the opportunity to sell your car worldwide is there.
Absolutely. They're a world market car rather than a free market car.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for investment value, or for someone who wants to have a world market for their car in the future and maximise what they might get for it, I agree. A left-hand drive car makes a lot of sense.
Especially, we'll always keep coming back to that engine in the back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially with this engine. That's right.
That's a thing for sure.
It's pretty cool. And a 2.7 RS is now well over $1 million. So yeah, it makes these a bit of a bargain by comparison. Whatever the traffic does, do the opposite. So we should go left.
We'll go left.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll leave the traffic.
We'll do Red Hill, and then we can always. There's a bit of someone's had an accident. Nicely dodged. There we go. That's good.
Oh,
how good is that?
Yeah. Oh, and it's so firm on the road.
Oh, it's just so sure-footed, isn't it? It's a little bit damp and greasy out today, but the car feels very sure-footed.
Yeah, but the car just has no idea about that at all.
It's just it really looks after you, this car.
Because normally when I'm driving other people's cars, I tend to be a bit, you can be quite, you get out the car and you feel like you've been hanging onto a steering wheel.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because there's a degree of respect that you give driving other people's cars.
Yeah, well, there's a nervousness, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Where with this, because the car is so, I'm like, well, we can still talk with our hands and not feel...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm good at talking with my hands, so feel free.
But yeah, it feels like I'm not grippy at all.
No, it's good. Well, it's nice that you're relaxed and you can...
This is...
Isn't it funny, when you do take your hands off the wheel, the car actually tracks straight. It's
there's no drift.
No,
this is like you said, confidence inspiring.
Yep.
Yeah, it loves a corner, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah. Loves the corner and loves accelerating out of them as well. Yeah.
It's got pull even uphill.
It does.
Look at it go.
It just goes well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now I don't know the roads well around here, so I'll slow down a little bit.
I'll give you a shout out of something terrifying's about to happen.
And the roads today, because it rained a little bit, it's almost like that. It could be a little bit slippery.
Yes, that's right. You kind of want to feel your way into it, don't you? It's sort of,
but this just does not care at all. And you let off, and you put your foot back on, and it's straight back on, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. The power is so linear and beautiful. It's just so good. And how good is, like, third gear is a magic gear in this car. Yeah,
I didn't want to change out of third.
It's really good.
And you feel it right in the seat of your pants with these seats as well.
Yeah, it's good. And they're just so support. And how comfortable are they? I've sat in, same as you, I've sat in Recaro racing buckets and done long trips, and they are horrendous. Whereas a Recaro sort of sports seat is a really comfortable thing.
Oh, it's a lovely open road as well.
Yeah. It's a little...
it does encourage you to slow down, slip it into third, and then give it a bit more again.
It's addictive, isn't it?
Oh, that... I just want to live in third gear.
Oh, this is good. We can open up through here.
That's fourth gear as well.
That is.
I was like, I think we're still in third, but that's fourth.
Yeah, it's good. There's just so much torque. It's fantastic.
Oh, because with that pull in fourth there, I genuinely thought we were in third.
Yeah. It's just and fifth is the same. Fifth is actually usable gear. So when you're moving along and fifth is not an overdrive gear, it's a usable accelerating gear.
Wow, that almost took my breath away there. When I went to change from third to fourth, I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yep, it's good. Oh, there's nothing like an MFI. 2.7 MFI engine is a very, very special thing. And it's hard to understand unless you've driven one. And this is probably the thing that there are so few of these cars and so few 2.7 MFI, engines around that not many people get a chance to drive one, and it's such a special thing. An RS engine is a 70, 80 grand proposition now, so if you can find the bits, you cannot find an MFI pump, you cannot find a space cam, you cannot find the throttle bodies. So you've got to buy all the bits, and then you've got to pay someone to rebuild it. So rebuilding an engine can be 50. You've got to buy the bits, so you're sort of 7. And then you go, well, if I'm not donating an engine, I've got to buy an engine. Well, even just buying a 2.7 magnesium, CIS engine is now 30 grand.
I gotta say, whatever you just said there was probably really interesting. I just love this.
Yeah, no, I can say it again.
This is so great.
It's so good. Awesome.
This is just amazing.
It's great, isn't it?
I think he's saying something next to me, but I just don't care.
No problem at all. That's completely fine. Enjoy it.
Wow. I think this car's making me blush. It is awesome.
Awesome. That's great. Really good. Yeah, I love it. It's a fantastic car.
I like that fourth gear. It's blown me away how good that is.
Yeah, and it does this in fifth as well.
My God. It's not even really confidence. I'll probably take that back. You just feel like you're one with it.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm not a quick driver. I am having coffee, sitting around.
Yep.
But this is if you're a quick driver, you could really this is unbelievable for you. Yeah. But if you're like me, where you can potter around with your arm out the window and then not like a squirt every now and again, this is also like, oh my God.
Well, that's what makes it a car. I think that's what makes it a car for all seasons.
Yeah.
That you want to take your girlfriend or wife to a winery for lunch? No problem, because it's comfortable enough and it's fast enough in modern traffic, and it's not it's a nice place to be. So you can head down to the peninsula and have a winery lunch and feel nice on the way back. Or you can go out for an early morning run with your mates, that's good. Or you can toddle along to a Cars and Coffee and stand back and enjoy it,
Yeah.
And it always gets a lot of comments at Cars and Coffee. It's a very popular car.
What the hell was this like driving something like this?
74.
Oh
I know,
my God.
I know. This is the thing, isn't it? You think it would be brain snapping.
Like, we've had some fun back there.
Yeah.
But we're sat in fifth gear. Nobody's having to yell at each other.
No, it's good.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a 74 Carrera with a 2.7 RS engine.
Yeah.
And that's the next best thing.
Our first time driving a 1974 Porsche 911 with the very, very special 2.7 RS motor. Now that car took my breath away. The fact that it pulls so well in third gear, and then we actually forgot we were in third gear and we were in fourth, and it still has pull in it. This is a very, very special car. Now, it is for sale, and we don't do cars on the channel that are for sale very often, but this one is. There is a link in the description below for the auction on collecting cars. Whoever picks this car up has got a car for a lifetime, because this thing is gorgeous for any style of driver, for any occasion. This is genuinely the car that you want. That 2.7 RS motor is a dream engine. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Remember, check the link below. Got a bit of spare cash and you're looking for a Porsche 911? This is definitely the one for you.